Again, the format, we have a opening statement from Coach Calipari, and then we'll have next 15 minutes for our student athletes, and we'll go back and finish with Coach. Coach, congratulations.
First games are always hard in this tournament, in any tournament play. We were a little shaky in the first half, but we played good enough defensively to be okay. And then I thought we got our feet underneath us the second half. There was a lot of sloppy stuff that I wasn't real happy about, but at the end of the day, you know, the first one to get it under your belt and move on is important.
Questions for our student athletes? Okay, right here in the middle.
For Alex, how much of the game plan was just to double team Jamil right from the start, not let him do anything, and just force someone else to beat you?
So we was trying to make it hard on him from the jump, you know, make other players make plays, you know, and just try to play sound defense from that.
On the aisle there in the back.
Also for Alex, I mean, you guys had to sit around all day, wait for the late game. Was there any first game jitters, a little sluggish? And when did you feel like you guys were starting to get it going and playing more like yourselves?
Yeah, a little bit, you know, laying around all day isn't good. You know, we need to be on our feet a lot more. But towards midway in the first half, you know, we got through the pregame jitters and all this stuff. We started playing basketball.
Other questions? In the back?
This is for Scal. You had 6 blocks, and the team had 15 in the game. You know, what went into that? What enabled you to do that against, you know, a quality big man like they have? And you know, is that something you hope continues, I guess?
I was just trying to be a presence for my teammates. Whenever everything broke down, I was just trying to help them out. So I was alert on defense, and that's what I did.
Other questions? Okay. Again, if you can make sure to identify yourself with your media outlet.
Eric Crawford from WDRB in Louisville. Isaiah, seems like whatever the team needs, defense, rebounding, whatever, you're able to provide it tonight. You make all your free throws in addition. You know, what's gone into kind of building your identity as just kind of a guy that does whatever needs to be done on this team?
I like to win, so whatever my team needs me to do to win, you know, I'll go out and do it. If it's rebounding, if it's scoring, playing defense, just not locking down the other team's best guy, I'll do whatever my team needs me to do to win.
Any other questions before we dismiss our student athletes? Okay, guys, congratulations. Get a good night's sleep. This time we'll take questions for Coach. Okay, back in the aisle here on the.
John Clay Lexon earlier. John, when did you feel like that they were starting to kind of settle in and starting to play the way you felt like they were capable of playing?
You know, we were good enough defensively that we just needed to make a couple baskets, a couple shots, get it to 19 or 20, and then figure out what we were. But, you know, we had the opening game jitters, which is normal. We start 3 freshmen. You know, Alex has not been one of those guys that starts some of these games that way, and so we did what we did. But I like the fact that we came back in the second half. Derek Willis was what he was. Jamal played better in the second half. You know, Isaiah, and again, he rebounds the ball. You know, at the end, I wanted him to just solely play the point guard. He was throwing the ball all over the place. I said, what are you doing? Just played a great game, one of your best games of the year, and you're losing your mind right now. But he's a great kid, and he's right. He wants to win. That's the one thing you know. I like him in to rebound free throws, both offensively and defensively, more than I do anyone else on my team. He goes and gets balls and does what he's supposed to do.
Going to go to the right side on the aisle, Coach.
Jerry Tipton, Lexington Herald Leader. How encouraging is it that Scal was as active as he was at both ends?
He was good. He still got into, where he's worried more about the physicality than grabbing a ball, and I had to take him out a couple times. You just go get rebounds. You start pushing on a 6'5" guy, and then you can't rebound the ball. So he's still learning. What he needs to zero in on is just keep shooting jump hooks. We didn't need to see your step through block dunk. We didn't need to see that, especially after you just made a jump hook. And those 15-footers that he can make. He blocked shots today. He did some good stuff. He's really this has been a hard go for him, but I'll tell you, he's making strides. This team is. The one thing I told him after, I said, look, it's not about being just consistent. You got to keep growing throughout this tournament. So we got to take what we did this game and let's build on it a little bit. It's not just playing consistent. It's getting better. I thought they played and had fun playing, but that's what I want them to do. I want them to go out there and have more fun playing than any team playing in this tournament.
We're going to go on the aisle over here on the left side, Coach, and then further back when we're done.
Skylar Gilbert, Stony Brook Statesman. At Kentucky, you guys probably have, you create more NBA players than any other school in the country. So from your perspective, looking at Jameel Warney, do you think he's an NBA caliber player?
Yeah, but he will be, if he's on the right team, there's a premium on rebounding in that league. And I'll tell you that the respect we had for him, we never played him one-on-one. Think about that. And the guys that have watched me coach know that very rarely do we do that. Like, we just don't play that way. And so we did today. We were not, I said, this kid could go for 40 against us. So let's not let him get going. And I thought Alex did a great job of trapping, and Scal did a great job of making shots tough, and he still got 23 points. I mean, he still got 23. So I'm losing my mind. The kid at Drexel, that played at Drexel and was with the Spurs. And see, we got no basketball people in this room. That's the greatest thing. Who is it? No, we got no basketball people in this room. Malik Rose. There you go. We got one basketball guy. But he's a lot like Malik Rose. But he's a little bit bigger. Probably doesn't shoot it as well as Malik. And one of the things he'll have to do is be able to prove that he can make 15, 17-footers. But, he's a great kid and works hard. And you could just tell that so proud to be a part of that, basically bringing Stony Brook into what it is today.
Gentleman standing up there. Yeah, go ahead.
John Brian Hamilton, Sports Illustrated. Playing Indiana on Saturday, thoughts on them? A rivalry game, obviously, here, and not even out of the first weekend.
Well, every game you play in this tournament is like a rivalry game. Everybody's going to play with high energy. I said after the game, my opinion, Tom Crean is the coach of the year, national coach of the year for what he did. It's not that they won the league. It's that he had his best, or one of his best, Yogi's probably his best player, but one of his best players got hurt out for the year, and he had to adjust how they play. What he's done with that team in that league is incredible. He's got a terrific passing team, a terrific shooting team, an attacking team. It's kind of unfortunate that this game is being played this early. Should be another round or two later. But it is what it is, so both of us are going to have to play. Tom knows the respect I have for him as a coach and as a leader and what he does, and they're really, really good. Like today, they were really good.
Okay, we're going to go on the right side, Coach, of the aisle, and then we'll come over on the left.
Cal, by your standards, how good was the defense tonight?
Well, it was pretty good. I mean, and again, to be able to hold a team like we did and block the shots and do the stuff that we did and, follow a game plan, which this team has struggled with at times. They did our shoot-arounds are better. Our game planning is better. You know, they know things are at stake now. But again, I'm trying to tell them, stay in the moment. Don't worry about anyone. I'm telling them, don't watch any other games because they don't matter to us. The only game that mattered was what did Indiana do. And all we have to worry about now is Indiana. I don't care whatever team wins or loses, does not matter to me, and I'm trying to get them in that frame of mind. And then say, let's be really focused, let's have great preparation, and play. If we're not good enough against Indiana, it's been a heck of a year. If we are good enough, we move on to the next weekend.
I see a hand on the aisle here on the left side. Yeah, here we go.
John, you talk every year about you want your team to have fun at the end of the year and have the most fun of any team, but is that especially important with this team or not? Or is this team any different in that
John,
regard?
it probably is, and it is because, you know, guys can be a little fragile at times. What I'm trying to get them to do is coach each other, because when I coach them, sometimes they, you know, they look at me with like deer in headlights, like, oh my God, you know. So I'm trying to coach less, even though I got on guys pretty hard today. But I got on them when we were up 30. I didn't get on them early in the game. I let them play through it. But when we were up 30 and they were screwing around, I got on them. I'm trying to get Tyler to do more. If you ever watch Tyler and I on the court and I'm laughing and he's laughing, it's because I'm saying, coaching stuff's not easy, is it? They don't listen, do they? They're not doing what you're telling them to do they? And he starts laughing and I start laughing because I'm trying to get him to coach this team more so I can coach less. It's mostly that. It's mostly that, like, did you tell him to, and he says, yeah, and he didn't do it. I said, how do you like that coaching? And coaching fun, isn't it? But he broke John Wall's record today for assists, which is an incredible thing when you think of John Wall. And John Wall had played a few more games now. You know, he's had a Player of the Year, National Player of the Year season. He really has. He's led a young team. We struggled early. Struggled because of two things. One, we lost 7 players to the NBA. And then we struggled because we had injuries. Alex was injured. Derek was injured. Dom was injured. We were injured. We didn't have a full complement of players. And on top of that, we're starting 3 freshmen. So, you know, it's been a great ride, and these kids are getting better, and we'll see if we can keep this thing going.
Again, on the right side, for our transcripts, we got to have your name and media outlet.
Jerry Zipton, Lexington Herald Leader. What does it say about Jamal to struggle with his shot in the first half and then get it going in the second?
Wasn't just struggle. He just made the wrong decisions. Like, he should have thrown a lob. He ran a guy over. He, you know, he missed a couple easy bunnies, things that he hadn't done. But, you know, again, let's chalk it up to kids never played in an NCAA tournament game. I bet you if you asked him, he's probably, other than a national final, probably hadn't even watched the games in the NCAA. He didn't even know what this is. Like, what's the big deal? So he came out in the second half. I thought he played really well. He's a great kid. I absolutely love coaching this kid. He's going to be special. And I'll tell you why. He has the mental makeup that he's never high, never low. He has the ability to score in bunches, a la Stephen Curry, where you know, just let it go and that ball goes in. But he's 6'5", and he's got size with him. You know, he's a pretty good handler and a passer, so it's been fun.
We got a question on the left here, yeah.
Alex Martin Smith with the Atlanta Journal. I think it's been roughly 4 years since the Indiana rivalry was discontinued. From your perspective, can you kind of rehash why that happened?
I didn't want to play home and home. I told them we'd play 2 years in Indianapolis if you want. I just didn't want to play a home and home. I didn't want to go there, and they didn't have to come to us, and they didn't want to do it, so that ended the series.
Got time for 2 more questions. Anybody? In the back.
Eric Crawford from WDRB. I think that 15 blocks is an NCAA tournament record.
That is
they're
correct.
saying. Is that
That
correct?
is correct, yes.
For a team that's just kind of,
Is it
Yes.
a record for Kentucky or a record?
it's a record, and it breaks Kentucky's record from '98 for
Really?
a title team. But
You know they had 11 first round. No, that was the
That was the
96
next team, yeah,
that had
yeah.
11 first round draft picks.
But I mean, for a team that's just figuring it out, I mean, does that kind of get you excited to kind of think of what